Okay, welcome to another stream. Let me just update things quickly. Just need to this. Okay, everything seems to be working, so welcome to another stream of building my TweetTextarea component for React. We've basically finished almost everything, and we we ran all the tests, and everything seems to be working generally fine. There's just one thing that I have discovered since the last time. I've been testing a little bit to actually see if there are any bugs that I haven't actually found out about, and I managed to find one of them. So let me actually show you the actually what happens. Let me get that one quickly. So if we have something like this, hello from AM side to 100 days of code, and if we select this, basically we're selecting all of the formatted text and we delete it. Oh, wait a second. This is supposed to be that's strange. Okay, this technically should there should be a bug in there. Yeah, there should be a bug in there caused by this part of the code. Interesting. Let me check. Let me try to see why is it not happening. Yeah, there should be a bug in there. Interesting. Maybe I need to rebuild it. So like the last time I already did some work on the offline version of this, so maybe it's still using that offline version. Interesting. That doesn't make any sense. And okay, something doesn't make any sense here. Trying to figure out what actually is happening. TweetTextarea React. It's loading the correct version. For some reason, it is not actually showing the bug. I'm not sure why. That's very strange. Oh man, this is not making any sense. Okay, so I'm not sure why but I think I'm missing something. I think there was something else that I was doing that was causing the bug. So the idea basically was that when we select everything in a formatted node and we delete the text, basically the span element is not deleted. So when we do our formatting, which relies on basically what ends up happening is when all of this text is deleted, the cursor ends in this text node, which means that this would be the current node. In this case, there wouldn't be any previous node because this is the very first node. But then when we come to the next node, it will actually pick the span element because it still exists. It doesn't actually get deleted, and that's what was causing the bug. So the way I ended up fixing it is just simply in here when we basically get the next node and do the check to make sure that it's not a BR element, I do also something else. So I'll rewrite this in a bit of a different way, and if next node as or, and we put that here. Next node as element dot tag name equal span, and not next node dot text content dot length. Basically what we're checking, if basically the span element doesn't have any text in it, then it means it's empty, so we reset the next node to the current one. And then one thing we'll need to do as well is check if next node as element tag name equals span, because now we have just an empty element hanging like an empty span element hanging around. Then we need to do next node dot parent element dot remove child next node, and we will set the next node to node as we were doing. So that's one thing we did. As I said, basically this is just to fix a bug that I discovered. For some reason it's not showing up anymore, which I don't really understand, but yeah, that's fine. So okay, so the next thing we're going to do today is basically refactor this, so we can just clean things up a little bit, because the code is a bit messy now. So what we're going to do is we are going to go here and okay, so okay, so let's first of all, I'll just rename this into lib instead of utils, because we're going to actually do some work in here. The first thing I need to do is to actually just create a couple of types that I'm going to use. So types.ts, and then export interface inode and offset. This is just basically a couple of interfaces that we're going to use when we actually create our functions, to just basically make things easier to pass parameters in and to return some to basically get return values like from some of these functions. So this first interface would be contain a node, which is going to be either an element or a child node, and it will also contain an offset which will be of type number, and interface, then I null node and offset. This is similar to this one. It's just that these are actually null. The reason why I'm not adding null as an option here is that for most cases I would only need this type, and I need to make sure that it's never actually null. But in some cases I might need to use a null, so in this case I'll just use the interface. Basically I'll use a type that is inode, like if type t equal inode and offset, or inull node and offset. So if there's a chance that this could be null, then I'll just basically just use the null node and offset in this case with the original node and offset. But for most cases I just need this one, and I need to make sure that it's never null. Then the other one, I range start and end. So if I need to pass basically start container, start offset, and end container and end offset all at the same time, I'll just use this type, and it will basically include start, which will be of inode and offset, and end, which also gonna be inode and offset. And lastly we are going to use this, the inode triplet, which basically this is the specific type. This is very specific to what we're doing with this component, because we're doing the formatting using basically the current node, previous node, and next node. So I need to create a type that basically just contains all three of them. So first one will be active, which will be of type child node, then start, which again is going to be inode and offset, and end, which is going to be inode and offset. To be honest, there is an argument for maybe because this is basically just this, you know, I'm not going to yeah, I'll keep it like that, because technically we're not passing start container, we're just passing nodes. They just happen to have the same type that we're using here, and similar structure basically to like, because of the name and the type, it looks similar, but they're not exactly range. So to keep it clear that I don't intend it to be arranged like a start container and start offset from the range, I am not going to actually create a type. Like the idea was that I could maybe do something like this, and I range start and end, and then delete those. I don't think that actually makes sense in terms of how we're using this. So that's all the types we actually need in this case. So to actually start refactoring things now. So first of all, I am going to rename this into text area utils. That's fine, yes. Update. Yeah, it fixed the update, but we need to do something here, and that is we are going to rename this text area ut. Yep, great. So it fixed everything. So let's actually go here. Personally, I think that the before input listener doesn't actually need any refactoring. So maybe this bit. I'm trying to figure out what is the best thing to do in this case. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do some refactoring. Okay, let me do this. Okay, first we are going to go here and create a new file. Call it text area listeners.ts, which will actually just include the event listeners, and we need function text area before input listener. If I can just type okay. Let me just adjust a couple of things here. So just need to fit a couple of things on my screen. Okay. Here. Just this. This will actually take two parameters. The first one is the event, which is going to be react.form event, and HTML div element, and the other one is going to be editor ref, which is going to be react.mutable ref object of HTML div element or null. And here's what we're going to do in here. Basically, we will start by copying everything in here and pasting it here, and we need to import TweetTextarea utils. Okay, great, yeah, picked it up. Then we will do import text. Actually, we're not exporting anything from here, so let's first do that. Const text area listeners equal text area before input listener, export default text area listeners, and we will, yes. So what we'll do here in the one thing we're going to do is instead of checking the code, checking if editor ref is not null, then running the code, what we'll do that if it is not, like if it is null, we'll just return and we're not going to do anything. So basically we're just creating an exit route for this function so we can flatten it instead of having like a lot of like conditions and if statements. So all we do, if the editor ref is null, just exit, if it's not, then it will reach this bit and it will run that code. So we need the event in this case, that is the one, and then we need the editor ref. So now we basically have just simplified the actual listener that we have in here. Now we need to do some work, so let's just save so we can organize everything. It will rebuild, and okay, so we've now rebuilt everything, and now we need again do the same, just flatten everything and create basically exit branches. So if something doesn't exist and it's essential for the execution of the code, we just basically exit. So if not editor ref.current, just again return. If not, then we'll get the selection, but the selection is null. So if not selection, just return. And maybe we can even simplify things here. If not editor ref not current and not selection, just return, and we don't need this one here. and then we will do if not range, again return. Then we have this, we can remove the range from here. This doesn't need any refactoring. It's basically doing exactly what we want it to do. So we need to actually check this one. I think this one doesn't also need any refactoring. It's simple enough, and we're fine with it. The next one is what actually will need some refactoring. We first will remove this because we now know that everything already exists. So yeah, we'll basically make this function into all of this into a function that is just adds a space. So here's what we're going to do. We will go to not here, TweetTextarea utilities, and let's see. We will add this one in here. Function add non-breaking space. So this one will take range and node, and it will return void. And actually let's also add the return, because we're not returning anything from here. So here's what we're going to do. We need to actually copy this code here. We're going to copy everything in here. Up to there, and then go to this one and just add this in here. And then we will go to here, and this const no parent. We will check if not no parent. Again, we need to exit from here, and if it doesn't have a parent, actually I think we can just something I need to do here. This should be all, because if any of them is false, it should just exit. So we're going to do the same here. Just add this one in here, and we don't need this anymore. basically because this function, the add non-breaking space, actually happens as you can see when it happens when the user press space, and it actually happens when they press space at the end of a formatted element, of like a span element. So basically what we're doing here is, because usually the node would be the text node inside the span, so we pick up the parent, which would be the span, and then if for any reason that parent or its parent, which should be the paragraph, does not exist, then we return. Otherwise, basically we need to find the span in its parent, and for this we actually need another function which basically just looks for a node in a parent. So it just goes across all the child nodes of any node, and if it finds the node that we pass to it, then it tells us, okay, here is the index of that node. If it doesn't find it, then it gives us null. So let's actually create that function quickly. So we're going to add this one in here, function find node in parent, which will get parent and node, and it will return either number or null, undefined, and it will just be let offset in parent number or undefined, and then for let I equal 0, I less than parent dot child nodes dot length, and then I plus plus const child, which is of type child node, equal parent dot child nodes I if child equal node, then offset in parent equal I, and then we break and then we return offset in parent, which, as we said, it can be either a number or an undefined. I just need to check one thing really quickly, because my computer's being a bit loud, and just want to make sure that this is not actually coming up in the stream. Let me just do one thing quickly here, which we are going to export this because we're gonna use it later, and we will come here and do the following. Yeah, instead of that, we will basically Yeah, we'll get the offset in parent quickly. Find node in parent. We'll pass the node parent dot parent element and then node parent. Actually, you know what? Let's, to make things clear, span element. This just clarifies things a little bit. If offset in parent equal undefined, then we just return, because again we couldn't find the node. Then yeah, basically now we don't need any of that. One thing we'll actually do, because in this case this will get us the index of the node, which would mean that the cursor would be before, but because we're adding space after, then we just need to increase the index, increment the index by 1. So we'll do this offset parent plus plus, delete this, we don't need it. All of that is not needed, so we can delete this. And all we need now is to just convert the code in there. So set start to the span element dot parent element and the offset in parent, and then range dot collapse dot true, and then just copy all of this and delete this bit. And I just need to check something quickly. Okay, yeah, we don't need this one as well. And have we exported it? Not yet, so let's add this in here, and we'll go back to the listeners and just use text utils dot add non-breaking space. It needs the range, which we already have, and the node, which is in this case the start container. And that should be all the refactoring we need to do for the before input listener. Okay, my computer is being really loud and I'm seriously worried that you actually computer, that all of that noise is picked up in the stream, so I definitely need to check it. Let me just check it quickly and see. Okay, so while I check it, what I'll do now is I'll run the tests here quickly, yarn test, and let's just run it on one of them, just to make sure that they are everything's still working. we haven't broken anything when we actually refactored. While I just, as I said, just check for the noise on the stream. Yeah, everything seems to be going fine at the moment. Okay, I think I'm not picking up a lot of noise on the stream. Though to be honest, these headphones I have are not really working properly. So yeah, if there are any noise, just let me know, because I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Sounds fine to me using these headphones, but yeah, anyway, and yeah, as you see, all of our tests for Google Chrome at least have passed, and yeah, we haven't broken anything yet. Lots of time to do that today. So yeah, let's go back here, and now what we need to do is actually come here and add the TweetTextarea input listener, which in this case will take the following event, which is again react.form event HTML dev element, and it will take the editor ref, which DOM, just react dot mutable ref object of HTML dev element or null, and the last thing it will take is the regular expression pattern that we use to format, and again it returns void. So what we'll do here is TweetTextarea input listener. We'll go back here and basically copy everything in here and add it in here, and do the same thing again. If not editor ref or not pattern, then we just return, otherwise we do listeners.input listener, and we pass the event, the editor ref, and the pattern. So again, now that is formatted properly, and everything's working fine. We don't need that import anymore. And yeah, we go back here. So let's save, so everything is formatted properly in here, and while we wait, Okay, that is done. We are going to delete all of that and paste it outside, and if not editor ref, we just return. Then we get the input type again, just to make sure. If not input type, we return, and maybe just if not editor ref dot current or not input type, just return. And have we not? Really? Okay. Apparently I haven't implemented the pasting event in this case on the stream yet. I thought I did, but yeah. Anyway, we don't need that check here anymore, and what we'll do is I'll convert this check into a function, because I'm going to add some other input types to it, because there are other forms of like deletion input types. So if it's going to be a simple function. It's not something that is so we'll add this one in here. Function is deletion event, and we will do just input type, which is a string, and it returns a boolean, and basically we just return input type equal delete content backward, or input type equal delete content forward, or input type equal delete by cut, which is just if those are basically just chooses to cut a text or something like that. This is a deletion event. We will export this and actually use it here. So if utils TweetTextarea utils.is deletion event input type and add so yeah, if basically just the user deletes something and we have the text, basically if they delete all the text inside the editor, then we just do this, whether that deletion was by selecting and clicking backspace, clicking delete, or selecting and just basically pressing Ctrl X or cut. The other thing that we need to do is we need to handle a special case with pasting. Like, we're not going to do anything with pasting when for most cases when the user pastes text, the formatting code that we already have just works fine. I'll prove that to you now. If we come here and let's just save this to make sure everything is actually up to date. Just wait for it to finish. So if we do hello from 200 days of code, and then let's and build in public. If we copy that text and paste it here, it works fine. It gets formatted. If you look at it in here, it just looks alright. Looks exactly as we expect it to be. However, there's one special case which happens when basically we have nothing in here. So basically we have empty editor and we paste that text. Again, it looks fine, it's formatted, but what ends up happening is this: the text is actually not added to a paragraph node like we want it to be. So we're not going to do anything to handle the paste event. It's handled fine by the code. We just need to handle this special case, which is what happens when the user pastes text in an empty editor. The problem with the paste event is that it doesn't actually pass through the before input event, so we can't handle it the same way we handle the user actually typing something new, and just basically add a paragraph first and then place the cursor inside it. It goes straight to the input event, so our text has already been pasted. So what we need to do is okay, I think I see a problem here. The code I've written for this one is not going to work. It's not going to work properly. Okay, that's fine. I'll write it as it is, and I'll show you exactly what is happening. So here's what we're going to do. In here we'll just add else f and test for input type, which in this case is going to be insert from paste, and basically I'm checking what I did here, and this is basically the part that is actually wrong, because I'm checking for node type that is text node. The thing is, it might not be a text node, because if it's formatted, if it's a text that is going to be formatted, then the first element is going to be actually a span element, and I'll show you what happens. So what we're going to do first is just const text. We'll get the editor ref.current.text content, then we will text area we'll delete all editor children and we pass that. Then if text, which should be, but we're just keeping it safe, text area dot insert paragraph on empty editor, and we'll pass the editor ref and we'll pass that text. But we need to do we need dot current. We need to change something with this function, because initially when we wrote that one, we actually wrote it for just a keyboard key. So that's how we were using it. But we need to make this, and there's something else I need to do here. Yeah, let's actually just notice that I wrote this. This needs to be boolean, and we'll go back up and just insert paragraph. We'll rename that into text or keyboard key, and then the one thing we're going to change here is, because as I said initially when we wrote this, we wrote it so it's a keyboard key, which means it's just one key press. So we were setting the offset basically when we set the range to just 1, so it basically adds the cursor after one letter. But in this case, if we're passing some text, it might be longer than 1 character, so instead we'll just do this text or keyboard key dot length, and yeah, that should be it. Really, we're not making any other changes in this case. So yeah, everything seems to be fine here. So now if we save and run this again, let's go here quickly. Okay, we still have the text. Let's wait for it to build. Yeah, that's fine. Now if we paste this, you will see that actually gets pasted inside a paragraph. But let's see the bug that I have just discovered. Basically, if we do this and instead just add some text that should be formatted. That's interesting. It doesn't make sense really. Okay, because it shouldn't be formatted. But let's actually go through the debugger to actually see what's happening. So maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, we need this, and we need this. Okay. Okay, yeah. That's fine, yeah. Because it doesn't get, like, we're intercepting it before even the formatting happens, so it will always be a text node. Yeah, sorry, I sort of misremembered what actually, like the order of what is happening. We're not actually formatting and then deleting the text and adding it into. We are intercepting the text before it gets formatted and deleting it, so it will always be a text node. So yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry, it's my mistake. Yeah, so yeah, it's not a bug, it's fine. Let's just remove this breakpoint because we don't need it, and we'll go back here. So in this case, we are done with this part of the event listener. So next we will get, basically we'll just copy that out, and if, again as usual, if not selection, then we just return, then const equal selection dot get range at 0, and one more time, if not range, we just return. Then we don't need to check for input type anymore because we already have it. And what we need to do now is refactor this into a function. So basically, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay. We don't need all of this anymore, so we can paste this in here. Yeah, I need this here, and then we need to delete that. And yeah, format, we're just removing this thing, the things that we don't need. And then what we're doing here basically is I am trying to figure out what I am doing here. Why is that here? Oh, damn it. Yeah, I'm looking at something else, I'm sorry. yeah, I got really confused. I didn't understand what was happening, because basically I flipped things up. So what I'm doing now is just handling the new paragraph. So in this one we are just adding this, and in this case we do this. So we already have the selection and range, so we basically don't need all of that. So yeah, we just copy all of that and delete this. Then we need to get the current paragraph. Basically what we're doing is we are actually getting the current paragraph here, and then from that we'll get the previous one, because once the user presses enter it moves to a new paragraph. So the current paragraph we're in basically is the new one that was created, and then the previous paragraph is the one that the cursor was in before the user pressed enter. So that's what we're doing here. First we'll get the current paragraph. So actually first let's do something quickly. We will copy all of that. So let's just do this, delete, and then we go here and add this one to the top here, format after new paragraph, and this one will take the range and pattern, which is regular expression, and it will basically do everything that we've had in there. But then to just clean this bit up, we're going to actually make it into its own paragraph, its own function, sorry, that just basically gets the current paragraph. So format after new paragraph, and then we will find this one. So we will come here and add this one in here, function. And let's actually add this one in here because we're not exporting this one. Get current paragraph, and it basically takes the range and it returns an element or undefined. And then we go up here and just copy all of that, add it in here, and then so what we'll do here is just convert this, if not parent element, then return undefined. So let's see what is happening. The user present the start container will be different. Okay. Oh, okay, so basically what we're doing here is we're checking if this is a text node, then it could either it should have a parent element. If it doesn't, then we just return undefined. If it does, then basically we do this. If that parent is actually a paragraph, so it's an unformatted text node, then current paragraph is actually the parent element. Otherwise, if then we return undefined. So if basically the parent is not a paragraph, then it should be a span. We check its parent. If for some reason it's not in a paragraph, we return undefined. Again, this is not something that will happen, but we're doing it to just make sure that TypeScript is happy. And then otherwise, basically, if it's not a text node and it's actually a paragraph, then we just return the start container, basically set the start container to the current paragraph, and then we end up just return current paragraph. Then we will come in here and const current paragraph equal get current paragraph, and it just needs the range, and this one is now working. We just need to clean a couple of things up here because now we're doing this. We don't need to check for the pattern because we're going to be passing it anyway, and checking for that in the event listener, not in this function. Same here. So yeah, that works. And so yeah, we have finished this one now. So what we need to do is actually come in here in the event listener, and we just tell it to use TextArea utils dot format after new paragraph, and as we said, we'll pass the range and the pattern, because we already should be checking for the pattern somewhere here. Oh no, this is the listener. We're actually checking for it in the component itself here. So that's what we're doing. Basically, if the editor ref or pattern do not exist, then we just return and we're not going to do anything. Otherwise, we pass it here. So yep, that's fine. So inserting the paragraph is now just working. It's refactored and it's simplified a lot. There's no point in doing anything else in here, because we'll just it's just a couple of lines of code. No point of like overdoing anything. The next step basically would be this one, and this one is going to be the hardest to refactor because it involves a lot of things. We need to remove that. We're not doing anything with it. And okay, so let's see what we're going to do. So all of this bit is just it's just us basically let me think a little bit. So what are we doing here basically? First we're getting the start container and the offset. We check to make sure if the start container is not a paragraph, basically to address this special behavior. Last child before offset. So basically we are making okay, so we're setting the offset. Basically what we're trying to do here is to get the current text node. If we can find the current text node, we set the offset properly. This handles the case when the start container is a paragraph, so it finds the text node in that paragraph if it exists and sets the cursor properly in there. If the start container is already a text node, then okay, so then basically we check to see if the text node, so let's just check if the text node is the immediate child of the paragraph. If not, because it's formatted, then set node to the span element which contains the text node. So that's what we're doing here. We're just figuring out what node would be and what the offset would be. And we need the offset to be the actual text offset, even if the node itself is the span. So we're going to actually refactor that into a function. So okay, so let's go here and let's go get current paragraph, and we'll just add this one here, get start node and offset, which will take a range, and then in this case we need the types, so we are going to import inode from types, so it's inode and offset, inode, null node and offset, and then we will get this one. It will return inode and offset or null node and offset, and we're basically going to just copy all of that. So yeah, we need this delete, and we need this one in here. Let's see. So in this case here we need to return node null and offset null. Finally, if we get here, we return node and offset. So basically, as all we're doing here is trying to get the node, basically the current node where the cursor is at, basically, whether it's a text node or a span element, because the text is formatted, and we need to get the offset as well, which would be where exactly inside that text node. Again, even if we're returning the span element, we need the offset to refer to the text node. So that's what we're doing here. And then what we'll do then is first we need to actually export this one. Actually, we need to do this, delete, and undo, just add this one in here, and we'll do get start node and offset, and we'll go back here. So we'll do let node offset equal text area utils dot get start node and offset, and again it just needs the range. So now we have node, we need to make sure that node is not null. If not node, or let's just, yeah, makes sense. If not node or not offset, then just return, because there's nothing to format for whatever reason, basically. Not for whatever reason, we know the reason, basically. If the user basically deleted all the text inside a paragraph, then there won't be any nodes, it will just be the paragraph itself. So we will return null. Maybe to be safe, I'll just if node equals null, offset equal null, just to be safe. Then we return. The next thing we need to do, or the next thing we're doing in this case, is we are getting the previous and next nodes. So that's all of this bit here. So what we're doing is we're checking the previous and next sibling or element sibling, and doing the whole thing we did here. If the next node is a line break or a span, an empty span, then we just set the next node to the current node, and then we just go basically here through that to set the offset, basically, and the start node and start offset, end node and end offset. And yeah, that's the bit here basically we're doing. So again, we're going to actually make that into a function. So we will do this. So we'll make it function get start and end, and we will do current node as element, and I range start and end, which should be, yeah, we've imported it, or like it was automatically imported. And we will basically copy all of this here, add it in there, and let's see. So we're going to rename node. Okay, so what if we do this node, but then make this into current node? Yeah, here we go, we've renamed all of it, and we're not changing anything about this. All of that is fine. Yeah, that's all fine. Then we just need to construct the object that will be returned. So it will be of type I range start and end, and then it will be basically 2 objects. So this will be start and this will be end, and then node equal start node, offset equal start offset after we've calculated it, and then node equal end node, and offset equal end offset again after we've calculated everything, and then we just return output. And we will export this one, get start and end. We'll come back here and we will do this. We will get the start and end objects that will be returned. So text area utils.get start and end, and it takes node, and we need to pass it as element because node is actually of type node in this. Actually it's element or child node, so yeah, we just need to confirm that it's element. Then basically we need to destructure those 2 objects to get basically the start node and the start offset from them, which we're going to be using later. So to do that, you know that with destructuring, if we do equal start, we can get basically the names, but then we need to actually make these into just rename them. So all we need to do is just make them start node and add a colon, and we name this start offset, and we need to do the same thing with the end object. So node would be end node and offset would be end offset. So basically what we're doing here is we are destructuring and renaming at the same time. So this would be the equivalent of doing something like this. If I do start node equal start dot node and then start offset equal start dot offset. So instead of just doing that over like 2 lines, TypeScript or JavaScript in this instance allows us to basically destructure and rename at the same time. And now we basically have the variables we need here. Let me just add some comments. Calculating the cursor position if the previous node is different from the current node, we add its text length to the offset already defined. Okay. Then what we will do next is we basically need to find the start node that we got here inside the parent paragraph, which should be basically because start node should be an immediate child of the paragraph. So what we're going to do is if not parent paragraph, or for whatever reason parent paragraph dot child nodes dot length equal 0, then again we will just return because it doesn't make sense. Otherwise we will utilize one of the functions that we already created. I just need to delete this from here. Undo. Let's also add this here, remove this, and in this case this will be const. We don't need to do anything, so we will just use the functions that we created earlier, which is find node and parent. Parent will be parent paragraph and node will be start node in this case. If offset in parent equal undefined, then again we return, and let's save that. And while we save, I need to check something quickly. Add non-breaking space. Yeah, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure that I'm checking for not doing it if not offset in parent, because 0 would be false in this case and 0 is a valid index. So yeah, that's why I was just checking. So okay, then basically we need to copy that and make it into its own function. which we'll do in this case function format after user input, and then this will take the following: takes a range, pattern, and parent and offset, which is going to be of type inode and offset, and then node triplet, which is going to be inode triplet, and it returns void. And here's what we're going to do in there. We are going to take this, all of that, add it in here, delete this and add it in here, and basically we need to get all of that, get all of these missing variables from the objects that we're passing. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to get the parent first. So no, let me again equal parent and offset. So we have node, which is going to be parent paragraph, and then offset, which is going to be offset in parent. Then we need const from the node triplet. We need active, and we need to rename it to node, and then we need start and end. We're not going to rename them. We are going to destructure that from start and get node, make it start node, and offset, rename it into start offset, and then const end node is going to be end node, and offset is going to be end offset. And now we basically have all let's just add something here. Remove the nodes from the parent because looks like range.delete contents doesn't always delete nodes. So yeah, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we don't need to do anything with this one, just need to export it, format after user input, and we're not going to export the format one because this is just now a helper function that we're using within the module. We're not exporting it. So what we're going to do is TweetTextarea utils dot format after user input, and then again we pass the range, pattern, and then basically we need to construct basically the two objects that we're passing. So here's what we're going to do. Parent data is going to be of type inode and offset, and it's going to be node, going to be parent paragraph, and offset is going to be offset in parent. And then the other one, const node triplet, is going to be of type inode triplet, and we are gonna pass active, make this one node, then start, then end, and node in this case is going to be start node, offset is going to be start offset, and node is end. What the hell is happening here? End node, and offset is end offset, and then we just need to pass parent data and node triplet. And if we save now, basically all we have left now is to just make this into its own function, which is just gonna be reposition the cursor. This is what this part of the code does. So we'll do that next. And here we go. Let's open this one. Okay. So in here we are going to do this. Yeah, we need to function reposition cursor after user input format, and this one will take range, paragraph, and offset. So again, I know that offset, and then offset, which is just a number, and again it returns void, and it will basically just use that. And as you can see, we're missing basically some things. In this case, all we need is const node is gonna be parent paragraph, and offset is going to be offset and parent from the paragraph and offset. And if we now come here and just do text area utils dot reposition, oh, we haven't exported it, sorry, and reposition. So as we said, takes the range, takes the parent data in this case, and takes the offset. We save, and basically now we are done refactoring. At least I can't think of anything else that I need to do. In here, yeah, we're using the correct thing. Let me make sure that I have everything imported properly. Sorry, exported. We don't need this exported now because we are yeah, seems like we have everything done. At least that is basically everything that I actually can think of. we can spend maybe some time looking at other things and making sure. I'll just organize this because I prefer the types to be on the top here. But yeah, it looks like I think basically we're fine now. Can add some comments here. This handles basically user so just clarifying what everything does. Okay, just adding some comments here and there to clarify what some of these things do. Okay. In this case, when user deletes all text in the editor, we remove all of the editor's nodes and exit. Return. No formatting will be required because no text. So we have that one. And so when the user pays let's just handles special case one special user paste text into an empty editor. In this case, the text will be added inside the text node that is an immediate child to the editor. We need to remove that node and add it instead. Maybe. Okay. Okay, let me, because I think I might have a different way of doing this. Add that text node into okay, let me do something different here. I will actually insert not what I'm looking for. Insert under now. Just save. Insert paragraph on empty editor. I'll basically make this I'll make this into a keyboard key again. No need to do anything here, and instead I'll do this function paste text in an empty editor. So we need the editor, which is going to be HTML dev element, and we need the text node, which would be just text, and again it returns void. Here's what we're going to do. Actually, let's do something here. Make this selection, and if not selection, just return. Just cleaning this thing up. If not range, then return, and then we copy all of that for just trying to think if maybe there's a better way of doing this one as well. Yeah, no, I think this one should stay like that. Okay. Here's what we're going to do again. Const selection equal document dot get selection. If not selection, return const range equal selection dot get range at 0, and then if not range equal just return. Then what we're going to do next is this. Const paragraph equal document dot create, not attribute, create element, damn it, p, then paragraph dot append child text node, and then editor dot append child paragraph, and then range dot set start text node dot text content dot length range dot collapse equal to. And in this case I think we can just get the text node and editor.child.current.child nodes 0, and if not text node then just return, otherwise we need to export this, paste text in an empty editor, then text area, paste text in an empty editor, and we will just editor ref.current and then text node. Save that one, which okay, that is as text, and we need to save this one. What exactly is the problem? There seems to be a problem in here. Okay. Okay, I will just do or 0 just to satisfy TypeScript in this case. And basically the behavior now should be the same. When we type something, it should be added in here inside the paragraph. So if we do that, yeah, that's fine. However, if we do hello signed 89 and delete that, and let's just okay, gets formatted properly and it's still added inside the paragraph. And if we cut it again, it gets deleted, everything is fine. Paste again. By the way, I want to see something because need to check what happens in this case. It's not going to be in here. It is going to be in the listeners. Let's go to the input one and yeah, let's see this. Yep, that's something that I was afraid of. Wait a second. Yeah. Shut up. Okay, this is not gonna actually be executed. Oh no, in this case it will. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine, I'm assuming. Because when we cut it, it actually cuts the paragraph. So when we paste it, actually pastes it as a paragraph. So I think we should be fine. We shouldn't have any issues in this case. Although probably will require some more testing to be 100% sure that everything is working fine. But for now, at least, I think it should be okay. And basically the idea is that we separated these two, so now we have one that just handles handles the keyboard key, basically, whether it's an enter key or just a character key, and then we have one that is specifically for the text node. And yeah, I think that should be fine. What we need to do now is we need to make sure everything is saved, which it is, and we need to run our tests. In this case, we'll actually run it on all of them. Not all of them, just the desktop versions of Chrome, Firefox and Edge. We already know that macOS and iOS browsers are not actually working. Yeah, we're not going to bother with that at the moment. We're just gonna run the test on the ones that we know should be working fine. And let's see what happens. This is going to take a little bit of time because we're running, as you can see, we're running 432 tests, and our tests are not the fastest really. So yeah, once they are done, hopefully, as I said, they should all pass and should be all fine. But yeah, let's wait and see what happens here. At the moment, everything is looking fine up until now, so hopefully we should be alright. Not sure how much is left to go, but I think not too long really. Yeah, here we go. So aside from the slow test warnings, which honestly I can't be bothered about because I've already split the files multiple times and they're still a little bit slow anyway, I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, all of our tests have passed, they're working fine, and yeah, all of this refactoring we've done hasn't created any issues for us, so perfect. Yeah, happy about that. And yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything I might want to do. Honestly, I think we should be fine. Might be an argument to putting all of this inside just a function, so it just runs like this one. Not sure if I want to do that or not. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I am going to definitely do that. What I need to do now is figure out what I'm going to call this one, because I'm actually going to Okay, yeah. Format node triplet, and in this case I am going to delete this one and I'm not going to do this, and I'll tell you why now. I'll tell you what, because we're going to be format after user input, and it will take the range and the pattern, which is going to be regular expression, and then basically we will just do this. So why is it not? Okay. Okay, so replace text area utils dot with nothing, format node triplet, and we should be fine now. Put format after user input, and it just needs the range and the pattern, and everything should be fine now, I think. Just need to make sure that okay, that's fine. Then we need to save. Now this just looks a bit cleaner. We can't really remove that, we don't need that comment. Save and build again. And okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll quickly run the Chrome test just to make sure we haven't broken anything when we did that. Okay. That's a bit worrying. Not sure why it seems to be stuck. Yeah, it seems to be stuck. Something is not working correctly. Yeah, there's something that failed, so maybe we need to just build again. Okay, now we run the tests one more time. Yeah, I think we should be fine now. I think just something with the automatic build command that I run in Visual Studio Code has failed for some reason. That's why it wasn't running. So if the Chrome tests pass, then we should be fine. I think that would be it for today. I don't really have anything else that I want to do. So yeah, I'll probably leave it here, and I'll think of what I'm going to do next. There are a couple of things that we can do. Either we can figure out why the component is not working properly on macOS and iOS browsers, or we can maybe start integrating it into the app. But I think it makes more sense to try and figure out what is happening with the Apple devices. Because the integration is just the next step really in the process, so it doesn't make sense to jump to that step and ignore the issue that we have with the just need to figure out what exactly is changed in here. Okay, so we've added something in here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, as I said, I'll probably be I'll be doing next is trying to. I'll definitely test the code first, just to make sure that everything is working fine. Yeah, we're not actually using that. That makes sense, so we can just save that. No need for that import now, since we moved everything into the TextArea utilities module. Yeah, that's all I can think of. Hope you enjoyed that stream today. There are a lot of things that of course I cannot go over, because like I'm not gonna explain what the code does, because we've already explained that in previous streams. So all we were doing today is just refactoring and moving things around and cleaning things up a little bit to make sure that everything is working properly. But yeah, one thing I need to just do is make sure that all of these functions are actually used outside of that module. So format after user input, yeah, they're used in the listener. Format after new paragraph. Oh, sorry. Yeah, insert paragraph on empty editor. Again, that's correct. Paste text in. Okay, I just need to do something quickly. Paste text. No need for the and. Paste text in empty editor. So what is happening here? Okay. That should be fine. And back to this, add non-breaking space, that is also used. Delete all editor children, again that is also used. Is deletion event, yeah. Find node in parent. Okay, so that doesn't need to be exported because we're not actually using it. So text area utils find node in parent. Okay, so we have this, and the definition. Great, so we've removed that because we don't really need it. And get start node and offset. So yeah, we're not exporting that one now, so we can remove it. And get start and end. Again, not exporting it, so yeah, just cleaning all of these things up. No point in exporting something that we're not actually using. So yeah, let's save, rebuild, and then yeah, that would be it, and we call it a night today. Yep, perfect. So yeah, I'll hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully you can join me in the next stream. Thank you very much, and have a good night.